Hi, welcome back from spring break. This video is just going to be a short 5-minute, hopefully no more than that, video to share with you where some of the resources are now that our UNIV 299 class is using an online format. One thing I wanted to share, I had an option when I was thinking about how I wanted to do this in terms of whether we wanted to meet all together at the same time, which is called a synchronous meeting, meaning we'd all be at the same, at 11 a.m. on Monday, we'd all get together and log in together so that we could talk. I decided not to use a synchronous format for our meeting. I felt like we could probably accomplish our goals and learning objectives by reading the material, responding through familiar places like discussion board, which we've used before on Blackboard, and some new tools like a Flipgrid, which is part of what I want to introduce in this video. We're having, while there will be things due throughout the week, and there will be a regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday kinds of assignments that you want to check Blackboard for, and then follow through with any other places you need to go to complete the assignments. We won't actually be meeting all together, so you don't have to log in at 11 a.m. on Monday or Wednesday or Friday, as long as you log in sometime on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and take care of whatever tasks and assignments need to be done before the next class, which will be Wednesday. And it'll continue like that, and I think that'll make sense as we go forward. So let me share with you where you can find some information. The new information, or the old information that we've used quite a bit in the past, is simply our Blackboard page. The only change I've really made to Blackboard is that I added an announcement section so that anything I want to communicate to you guys, I will post here under announcements. So on March 19th last week, I told you that I would be redoing the structure, and I also sent you this link to the post-spring break complete resource guide for UNIV 299. I'll come back to this in a minute and just show you where that guide is and what kind of information it has in it. If you haven't already seen it. Hopefully you've already seen that guide, you've already looked at it, and you're feeling fairly comfortable with what the plan is, because that's basically the plan for the semester. And then I posted earlier today and let you know that the Unit 2 schedule has been updated. And so let's just take a look at that Unit 2 schedule. This should look familiar. We were using this before spring break. And then we had this, right before spring break, Dr. G came from the Center for Human-Animal Interaction. She talked to us about animal-assisted activities. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. And then we had this spring break, which was long and surprising, and lots of unexpected things happened. And now we're all sitting wherever we're sitting, trying to finish up the semester, as best we can. And I do want to interject here and say to you that my goal is to help you complete this class successfully, to be as clear and kind of supportive, and letting you know where to find things and when things are due and when you need to do them by. But it will require probably a bit more organization and kind of finding information on your part. So that's why I want to spend some time now talking about where to find the information that will tell you what we're doing in the class. So here I've added a few sources. We always had the Animals in Society textbook, this one, or you may have the online version, or the library version. That's always been here. And if you accessed our text through the library previously, then you'll still be able to access the textbook through the library online. Our Blackboard page, which is where we are. Then I also added the link here for the Flipgrid, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. Our course Rampage, which we've not used a lot, but we'll be using it some more now that now that we're online. In fact, if you found this video, then hopefully well, if you found this video, you found a way to find our RAM page already. And then that Google Doc, that's our guide. So for example, I said we're not meeting synchronously, but there will be assignments and things due from class period to class period. So here, make that a little bigger. You'll see that it's week 11, March 23rd. What we're doing is we're adjusting for online learning today, and then we're going to talk about those papers that are due on Wednesday. The first assignment here says RAM page review blog post for March 23rd. So you can find our RAM page by clicking on the link for RAM pages, and then you would go to the post will just kind of automatically appear. I haven't updated the post yet here, but the automatic post will appear here, and so the most recent one should be on top, and that's where things like videos and mini lectures and maybe some questions would be posted. It also tells us here that you have a Flipgrid assignment. So Flipgrid is going to be basically somewhat very similar to discussion board, in that Flipgrid is a way to have discussion with each other, or to hear and share each other's comments or thoughts. Whereas you'll type, if you're on discussion board, you'll type your responses as you've already done. For Flipgrid, you can video record your responses to each other. So it's an easy way to do some video recording and have kind of a discussion or pre-recorded discussion. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. All right, back to screen share. Staying on track here, trying to. So it says to go to Flipgrid, log in, review week 11 topic, justifiable animal use, which is what the paper's about. So if I go up here and I click on Flipgrid, this is what Flipgrid looks like. This is what our class Flipgrid's going to look like. We just looked at the weekly schedule, and we were looking at week 11, so that will correspond here. And each week there'll be a topic, and these should be posted out there for you to look at on Monday before 11. And then the topic will have a bit of a prompt. Might have a video or something here, and it could even have a link attached. This is like the discussion board prompt. You would read this, you would take a look maybe at the link. If there is one attached, this one's an article by a philosopher, Kwame Anthony Appiah, where he's talking about what future generations will condemn us for. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, and then what you'll do is, after you understand the prompt, you'll record your own response, and it's very simple and very easy. And let's just see how it goes for this first week. But you'll record your response and post it up, and then you can also reply to each other's responses. So it's very similar to discussion board in that you can record responses and post them on Flipgrid. That will allow us to have some discussion and conversation, so that it's not all independent work, but that we're still talking to each other and learning from each other. Okay, so let's go back to the Blackboard site. Don't think that worked. Okay, so I wanted to go back to the Blackboard site. And we only have a week left of Unit 2, so we're finishing up the unit using animals with talking about this self-reflection paper that you're working on. And then also for Friday, having a bit of a conversation that's rather timely, because we're looking here then at here we go, we can make that bigger. On Friday, we're going to actually talk about COVID-19 and zoonotic diseases and do a little bit of reading about from the perspective of folks who are, talking about how diseases like COVID-19 are related to human-animal interactions and the kinds of interactions that allow from diseases to jump from a human being or from a non-human animal into a human animal. So this is all to say that you should be familiar with the way this lays out. So then if we continued to look at these codes for Wednesday, there's a Flipgrid that you should post to Flipgrid by 11. And then you should, by Friday, be responding to each other's Flipgrid videos, reading a few articles about COVID-19 and zoonotic diseases, and then doing a discussion board post about that. So really, I'm just in this first week trying to integrate Flipgrid into the basic routine. Going back here, if I can click the right thing, going back here to share the screen. Yeah, going back to our Blackboard page. So then we also still have course material by week. And you'll see that we're down here on week 11. Just above week 11, I have posted some of the same links that we just looked at, the Flipgrid link, the Rampage link, and then some information about using Zoom to have meetings or conferences during my office hours, or to have scheduled meeting or conferences. I don't want to get too much into that right now, but you can see my extended office hours have been posted here. Basically what you would do is if you wanted to drop in during these times, I'll have Zoom open and on, and it would be basically that you would click on the link, and then it might ask you to, the first time it might ask you to download Zoom or to test your mic or that sort of thing to make sure that it works. And then it would tell me that you're in my waiting room, and I would let you in, and then we could have a conversation. If you do try to drop in for our meeting, for a drop-in meeting, and I'm already meeting with someone, then it has a function where you just wait in the waiting room until, and then when I'm done meeting with the other person, I'll basically let you in and we can talk. You can also use Zoom with a regular phone, so you don't even have to have a computer to access it, and some of the instructions for that are here. All right, so we talked about all these things, except we did not look at the post-spring break resource guide, which is that Google Doc, and this is a 14-page doc, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but I am going to go through a little bit of it here. The strategies for moving forward are just our basic principles. Communication, I think, might be the most important thing to make this work. Most importantly, we need to practice regular communication. My goal here is to understand that this circumstance and this online learning is not something that you or I signed up for, really. So we're going to make the best of it by being compassionate, by being flexible and making adjustments as we need to. We can't just do the exact same thing that we were doing online. And then the information about my office hours are also posted on this document. So please take a look at everything on here. There's information about how attendance has been adjusted. Basically, you get credit for attendance by logging into Blackboard at least 3 times per week. I actually recommend that you look at Blackboard probably once a day and just look at my class as well as all your other classes to see if anything's changed. And then there's some other resources. And then there's all the same links, just like that Flipgrid that I showed you earlier, the links once again here. So I've tried to put the links for all these things in as many places as possible. This might be the most important part of this, which is kind of our daily routine or schedule. Make this a little bigger for us to look at it. So on Sundays, I'm going to email you and post to Blackboard the detailed to-do list for the week, which is going to be the exact same thing that's on that Blackboard weekly schedule. And I'll probably just kind of point you in that direction when I email you. We should be using Flipgrid every Monday, so you'll find you'll check into Flipgrid, see what's going on, what kind of discussions we're going to be having. If we need to meet my extended office hours and you drop in through Zoom, you can do that. And then whatever homework is due, and how you might find the lectures on the course materials through RAM pages. These are all general resources toward the back of this document for you to use, just kind of strategies for adjusting to distance learning. One of the ones that I recommend, I don't know, let's see, is for actually setting up your workspace. I'm currently using our front room as kind of a workspace. And I hope you develop your own workspace for this is a place that is kind of quiet and there's not a lot of interruptions. And in the best world, you'll be able to find a place where you can spend some time doing your schoolwork without interruptions, even though you may no longer be living in a dorm or where you were before. Okay, so that really does show you where everything is as far as the information for the class. We've got Blackboard, we've got RAM pages, we've got Flipgrid, you've got that Google Doc, which is kind of an overview of everything. On RAM pages, that's where I'll be posting mini lectures. So if it's something pertaining to a reading or an assignment, then you'll find those kind of little lectures or explanations posted on RAM pages and multimodal blog posts, which is where this one is. So if you have any questions about the resources, if anything doesn't work right, or you can't quite figure out how to make it work, let me know, send me an email, schedule an appointment to see me or drop in on my office hours through Zoom. We'll make this work. Let me know what questions you have.